What's up, Rookie Nation?
Hey.
Your favorite podcast co-hosts have returned for another episode of Storybook Circus. This is your Once Upon a Time podcast. We are here. For those of you who love Once Upon a Time, you are in the right place. We are reviewing the TV show one episode at a time. We have seen the show in its entirety, but we are now rewatching and putting it through its paces. Hello to YouTube. We're also taping video for the YouTube fam out there. We tape the pre-show, as we like to call it, before we do our little watch party. We have a bunch of other stuff that we will be talking about before we actually get into watching the episode, as we always do. If it's your first time here, welcome. This is actually episode 20. This is a big achievement for us. A big achievement for us. Episode 20. We're actually reviewing episode 19 because we're an episode off right now, but that's a big deal, man. We made it to 20. I guess I didn't say who we are. I'm the Mackie Mouse.
I know, and if you're new here, the guy talking is Mackie.
Yes. And my lovely co-host.
And my name's Isla.
Isla. Like I said this right before we started. Right before we pushed record, I was like, I hope I remember how to run the show because I forgot, and apparently I don't.
It's only episode 20.
Yeah, it's not like I haven't done this 19 times before. Whatever. You guys know who we are. It's fine.
We're here.
Yeah, we are here. How is life? How's it going? What day is it? Wednesday? It's been a week.
Touchy
actually.
subject.
Yeah, it is a touchy subject. It's been not just a day. It's been a week. It's been it's been several weeks. But you know what? We're here. We're persevering. We're pushing through. This is a highlight. Got my Max t-shirt on today. Got my Mickey hat. Got a Marvel chair. We're very Disney today.
I know. Wow, you're really feeling the mouse today.
Why not? This is the hat that I feel like I can get as far as I can get away with on my work Zoom calls. Okay. Like I don't go too far. Like I do this and I have a black Yankee hat and that's pretty much all I'll do. Because anything more I feel like inappropriate to be wearing like fun hats like during work. You know what I mean? Even though I'm home.
Yeah. I know.
Full disclosure.
So weird. Like it's still weird. It's like a year and a half later and I'm still like, what's appropriate? What is okay?
Appropriate? That's true.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
I struggle because I'm a hybrid schedule now and I still struggle like when I get ready. Like today I wore a cute sundress and I was feeling it and I looked great. But then I was thinking, is this a dress that I can wear to the office? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I wore it anyway. I have no sense of like what is work attire anymore.
Yes.
I'm showing up and that is good enough at this point.
Seriously. That is the exact same problem I'm having. I haven't gone out in so long, and don't get me wrong, I love it. It also a touchy subject. I'm a homebody. I really am. I've pretended that I have not been, but I really am. Like I really enjoyed this entire time. When it was furloughs, I was like, I know I'm not making money, but this is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like to be able to like just stay home, not have to worry about telling people we can't hang out because nobody's hanging out. Like I was the person everyone was making fun of online because we got to finally have our way and stay home and not be bothered. But doing that, like at least if it's not pandemic time, you are forced to go out a little bit. You know what I mean? And so like you remember how to like dress up for like a nice like a birthday dinner or something weird like that. It's not formal, but it's like, you know, like you still have to be like look nice. Okay, so we went to a wedding this past weekend and I did what I always do. I was in a full suit and tie because in my head that's how you
I don't know. I'm somebody that needs to be extra for weddings.
Me
like,
too.
You need to be in a full suit and I need to be in a really nice dress.
Like
you know what I mean?
Like when do you
Bart
get to dress
and I
up
do
like
not
that?
do casual weddings.
Me too. Okay.
And if it is a casual wedding, we're not dressed for it.
I thought it was just me. Okay, I'm glad that I'm not correct. I thought it was like a new 2021 thing because there was a lot of people, dude, sneakers and khaki pants and short sleeve like button down shirt, white shirt. It was like golf attire, and I was like,
honestly, do you? I guess, but like this is like
some older people.
This is an adult prom.
Why not go all out? That's how
we don't get to have these events anymore. When we grow up, life gets kind of boring, honestly. So if you're going to have a moment where you get to have a moment, do it.
I looked great. And we both looked great. Like we
both looked phenomenal.
Thank you. I felt really good in it. I was like, I don't care if I'm overdressed, underdressed. This is what I wanted to show up in. You know, you take your jacket off in the reception. You can roll up your sleeves. You can loosen your tie up. But I did the thing. You know what I mean?
I channel Fran Fine. Every time I think that I am overdressing, I'm like, but would Fran Fine care? No, she wouldn't.
It is so funny that you bring that up because I am currently rewatching the entire Nanny series because it is on HBO Max.
Gosh.
And
there's nothing like a Flushing Queen. Oh my God.
I love her so much. I used to watch the show when it was on TV and it was totally my jam
Me too.
because I'm obviously from New York, so that was very like near and dear to my heart. And like, I don't know, I just had I'm in this like COVID, like a rewatch thing, you know, like everybody's been home and like just rewatching your shows.
I miss March of 2020.
Oh my God, me too. Okay.
I will never admit that again.
I'm so glad it's not just me. Guys, we're twins. I don't know if you guys knew this. You can see us on YouTube right now. You can see
that we look identical.
Obviously, right? You know what? I'm not kidding. In this light right now, we could pass off as siblings.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that far off. I'm just saying.
We check off different ethnicities when we apply for jobs, but we are twins.
But at heart, yeah, we are twins. I'm going to lower my desk so that there you go. That's better. Sorry. Yeah, I
sometimes
feel,
though.
I feel the same way. I felt the uncertainty, the scariness of the medical stuff, the masks, all that stuff sucks.
Death.
Yeah.
Don't miss that.
And I consider myself extremely fortunate to not have been that impacted by it. You know, like in terms of like I didn't have a family member die or something like really dramatic like that. But obviously it happened, so that's really unfortunate. But like socially, just the social aspect. Like the people who are cramming themselves in clubs of 500 people and drinking and going crazy, now they're the ones being shamed. I was like, oh, that's different. You know? I
still have no desire to do that.
I never had a desire to do that, and people who did that always seemed nuts to me. I mean, no shame, no judgment. If that's what you like to do, it makes you happy.
No, I'm just like not that and like I hate you can't pick and choose. Like I would love to pick and choose. Mm-hmm. I would love to work from home forever. I would love my baby to be there forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would.
Yeah. Totally.
And maybe it's also partly the fact that Harper is so much older now, and only a year and a half has gone by, but she's just like a completely different human being.
Like
if you're new here, Harper is my daughter. Yeah. She's fresh 3.
Very fresh.
New 3-year-old.
Couple of weeks, right, at this point, right?
Yeah, and when the pandemic started, she was not even 2. She was still 1.
That's crazy.
I think about it and I'm like,
oh, that's
what
really
happened?
Wild. That's really wild. Holy crap.
She was 1 year old when COVID happened.
And like 1 to 3 is very different than like 26 to 27. Like, that's or
right. Yes. You know like I am now 26. I started when I was 20. Yeah. No. Who
That's
cares?
not the same. Like, yeah. That
she's a kid now.
Oh my God. She's not a baby.
No, she speaks so out of pocket every day.
Oh my God. The kid's amazing. Anyway.
She's so funny.
Now that you've had the pre Once Upon a Time podcast, Isla and Mackie show.
Hey,
we like to talk. This is what we do. We just talk and hang out. This is just our friend
unapologetic as well. So
you're just listening to us, 2 friends who check in with each other every day, calling each other. You're just getting to listen to us checking in with each other.
We act like we're checking up.
Yeah.
Just checking in. Even though I was texting you 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is every day. This is, in case you wanted to know what the dialogue sounds like between me and Isla every day, this is pretty much what it is. To keep ourselves distracted from all the crazy crap that goes on with our day every day.
Yep.
So that we don't go nuts. 10 out of 10 recommend. Find yourself a friend who will distract you from your day-to-day bullshit.
Yep.
It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. To get into our show, we like to break our show into segments if this is your first time here. And the first segment is dedicated to the listener. It is called the Storybook Daily Mirror. We love our newsboys. Thank you, newsboys. This is where we hear from you in all sorts of different ways. The Storybook Daily Mirror in the world of Once Upon a Time is a fictional newspaper, so we kind of have our own newspaper where you get to submit but you get to submit your thoughts and your opinions to us, and we fake publish it in this fake paper. Isla,
we love it.
How can they participate in this fun fake newspaper game?
We got a phone number that you can call or text.
Yeah, we can.
That phone number is
207-536-8512. Crushed it. Okay.
Love that for us. We also have, for our iPhone users, Apple Podcast. does reviews, and you can leave us a 5-star review and share some words, and we are going to read that on the air.
Yeah.
We have a Discord that you can participate in and send us whatever you feel. We have an Instagram, the SBC Pod. You can DM us your feelings, and we have an email if you're into that sort of thing, which we have learned some people are, to our surprise. And it is the sbcpod@gmail.com.
Boom.
So hit us up. We would love to talk to you, and we would love to read your words on the air because they are important and they matter to us here in Storybook.
They sure do. I need a bomb sound. That's one of the sounds I don't have. We need like a mic drop
Oh,
bomb.
weird. Yeah.
Of all the things that we have on our soundboard, we don't have a bomb. That's so bizarre.
I know.
All right, so
But let's kick off
Yeah.
the Daily Mirror.
Let's do it.
We have a review.
Apple
We
Podcast
love these. Personal
review.
fave.
5-star review. Who's it from?
This is by JCS parentheses 6666.
Yes. Thank you for reading the grammatical notes.
I think it's our friend Jonathan.
Jonathan.
If it's not,
Yeah.
correct me.
I'm pretty sure it is Jonathan.
In all caps, the best podcast about once! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I have listened to so many podcasts about once, and this is the perfect one.
God.
It is like sitting down and talking to friends about such an amazing show, quirks and all. 2 thumbs way up, thumbs up emoji, thumbs up emoji. Keep it up.
Let's just talk about Isla's her Apple Podcast review skills. She does this every week, every single
Thank you.
episode. We just want to
Thank
point
you.
out how great you are at this. Thank you for reading all of the emojis, all of the what are these things?
What do you call those?
What do you call those? They're punctuation. They're called
Oh my God.
punctuation. We know English, I promise.
School of Rock, please help us.
That was
No, Schoolhouse Rock,
embarrassing.
not School of Rock.
Okay.
In Jack Black, we trust.
We in Jack Black, we trust. We are awful at this. Jonathan.
Well, thank you so much.
Use of the word
GCS
quirks.
parentheses 6666.
100% Jonathan. Use of the word quirks for sure. I'm sorry that I keep going off screen. I moved my desk around and some of my sound effects are on the mixer that currently is out of reach. Hold, please.
Oh my gosh.
I need to physically move this. Okay, that's better. Now I can actually reach my mixer. There's all sorts of shenanigans that happen on the show. We do it live. We don't edit anything out. So here we are.
Kurt, this is it.
Jonathan, thank you so much again for your review. We got another 5-star
Also,
review.
the best. That's like
The perfect podcast, he said, that's high praise, man. The perfect one.
I don't believe it, but we'll take the compliment.
I don't believe it either, honestly. But
Fake it till you make it, I guess.
I'm glad that you feel that way. And I'm glad that some people agree with you as well. I mean, we have some good, full disclosure, I think we can be transparent about this. We have 21 ratings, 21 5-star ratings for this show.
Anybody can check that. So yeah, we can be transparent about it.
Yeah, I feel like that's easy enough information to find. But
Almost more than one review every episode. I'm just
that's
saying.
true. Exactly one more. Thanks to Jonathan.
Fractions. Math.
Hey, we're doing it. We're there.
Math is a wonderful thing.
I love giving Isla the space to do her.
Get off your
super
ass. Let's do some math. Math.
You're welcome for that. Okay, so we also get texts and voicemails, as Isla mentioned before. We have a little bit of both today. We got a couple text messages first. We have Amanda. We have Amanda who has messaged us. Amanda from St. Louis. So we'll add that to the map.
Missouri? Right?
Yes. Missouri spelled weird with extra letters that you don't say.
What?
It is. Like Arkansas. She says, "Hey, Brookies. So I finally is in all caps. I finally caught up with all the episodes in our favorite podcast. And I have a thought for Mr. Gold's Gold Star in the field of excellence. As the seasons go on, change it from the first annual to the number season we're on. Stay gold, stay Rumple." Thank you for that suggestion, Amanda from St. Louis. It turns out one of the reasons why the first annual is in that name is for that exact reason. That was the plan all along, but I am glad that somebody picked up on that idea, right?
And thought it was a good idea.
And thought it was a good idea, yeah. That the first annual actually meant that it was the first season, so that was always the intention to change that up.
Thanks, Amanda. I hope you stay gold and stay Rumple.
I'm glad we're on the same page, though. That's good. That means we're doing something right. If that
we're
was,
vibing.
Yeah, we're totally
people that listen to our show.
Totally vibing. Sorry, the dog's being weird. Our second message was another submission to the Down the Hatch, but this one I wanted to read because it made me chuckle.
It's worth it.
It says, hatch, down the hatch, open the hatch, hatchety hatch hatch. Leo. And that is our friend Agent Leo from
Thank you, Agent Leo.
Discord.
Oh my gosh.
So far, that has been my favorite entry to Down the Hatch. We've gotten emails, we've gotten text messages, we've gotten DMs, we've gotten it all over the place, but that one by far takes the cake.
Hatch.
So thank you. Thank you, Leo, for that. Speaking of Agent Leo, he has left us a voicemail as well. So I'm just checking our settings to make sure that that's okay, and let's hear Agent Leo's voicemail.
Hello, Brookies. It's Leo, or Agent Leo. And yeah, I just want to share what I think and I hope is what everyone else is thinking, and just appreciation and just pure fun with this podcast and you guys, Mackie and Isla. And I just wanted to share that thank you guys. The detail and work into the production notes, TV production, back onto the characters, the actors, Isla's amazing and funny quips and witty commentary, like when Emma hits Jefferson and she says, "You son of a B," and Isla just comes in, "No, you B." It's just so good and so funny. People actually catch me. They catch me laughing out loud quite a bit when watching this podcast. Or when you said August in the real world will drink kombucha and just stay at hostels. It's so funny. But it really does feel as if we're all on a virtual couch watching this show and this series. And that's what I wanted to share, just thank you. I love this show. Again, I won't always emphasize the writing in things like the Mad Hatter going mad from making a hat to see his daughter. Oh, so amazing. Such a great show. Such a great podcast. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Agent Leo.
Oh my gosh.
We appreciate you and all of our listeners. But we love listeners who share that appreciation with us, that because we think we're super weird and dorky. And so when people enjoy our quips and quirks, then it very, very, very much validates our weirdness.
Yeah, so thank you for validating me. I always catch myself laughing out loud to things that like people, you know what, the voice in my head. No, like TikToks, or like if I'm listening to a podcast that's funny, or if I'm reading a tweet or watching an Instagram story, you know what I mean? Like I will laugh out loud at things. I'm one of those people that just has to laugh out loud, and I'm like, oh, I feel so stupid right now because nobody can hear me. So the fact that people are laughing out loud to our podcast makes me happy.
That's high praise, man, right?
I think that's a big deal.
That is a huge compliment that people are embarrassing themselves in public watching, listening to our show.
And we are on a couch. I'm on an actual couch today. I moved my recording session.
And people can see that because we're filming you.
Yeah.
So
the air conditioner is cranking right now. It is hotter up here in Massachusetts than it is down where Mackie is in Florida. And it is like 100% humidity. It's going to thunderstorm pretty soon. I'm sure of it.
Did it end up raining a lot yesterday?
Completely. Yeah, it's going to thunderstorm again. It didn't even cool down or like cut out the humidity yesterday. It was insane.
Man. Florida just drifted up there to you, huh?
It's the tropical storm, Danny.
Oh.
He showed up and he's partying hard up here.
It rains so friggin' often here that I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore because it's just storming all the time.
Yeah. You're
so
also
just
entering
like,
hurricane season pretty soon.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, a hurricane's here. I didn't even know. Like, because it's just like constantly raining. It rains for like 2 hours every day. And it's not always 2 hours in a row. Sometimes it's 45 minutes here, 30 minutes here, and then an hour and a half straight. Like, it's just so rain. And you can't even do anything. You can't plan around rain because by the time you change your plans, the rain's already changed. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
So we just like live in this until August.
But I'm weird and I check all of my friends' weather when I check my weather. I don't know why. I know Jesse does it too.
Oh, I love that.
But our friend Jesse does the same thing. Like
That's
I literally
hilarious.
will check my weather and then I just like open all my other cities and I have everyone's cities and I just
That's great.
what's going on there?
I really do love that. I do have Massachusetts in here because we know so many people up there. I have New York. I have California. I guess it's the people I talk to the most, so that like so I don't sound ignorant when I'm like, oh, it's so hot, and they're like, thanks, it's 40 degrees. Like I don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I know some context around who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. So we got a review in. We got a couple short text messages. We got our voicemail. That's really everybody who contributed to this Storybook Daily Mirror. Before we close it out, we do want to talk about we are so on the cusp of getting this Lost Patreon launched. So we really
It's happening.
So we put out some Instagram stories today.
Hannah ran hooked it up.
Huge shout out to Tan from Texas, who created this really dope graphic for us to announce that we need interest, and people texting down the hatch like we've been doing for the last few weeks to the number to get our Lost Patreon started, as well as our SBC movie club, our Brookies movie club.
Consider yourself a Dharma recruit and text
Oh yeah.
down the hatch.
A Dharma recruit. We're gonna have to use that. We have a couple of additional details. So when this gets launched, when we tip this over the line, we are gonna have the SBC Movie Club. Right now we're gonna start out at once a month. We're going to try and, because our schedules are really nuts, mine in particular, but we'll try and get more content as the time goes on. We're going to try and do a movie club once a month where we do a full length movie, the same as we're doing right now, with production notes and segments and all that stuff. And then we watch the whole movie and do audio commentary. And then the second tier will get that plus the new Lost podcast, which we have a name for, which I think the Instagram story was actually the first time that we've announced the name. So I guess we can say what that is. So the name of this new project is called Hatching Up with Lost. That is the official world premiere of the new name of the Lost Patreon
Breaking news.
podcast.
Pom, pom, pom.
Hatching Up with Lost. So we're gathering up as much interest as we can. So if you see that posted on SBC Pod, and we're going to put a post up in the next couple days here. So if you see that, feel free to repost it to your friends so that we can get as much interest as possible and get a conversation about that going on. The thing that the two of those things also get you is a special role in the Discord, which will allow you access to a specific channel or a specific group of channels so that we can talk about the movies, we can talk about Lost and all that stuff. That is part of the subscription, I guess, at Patreon, and some of the polls and stuff that we're going to do directly related to Patreon we might do on there as well. And the podcast is going to be locked off as a private podcast within Patreon. So it's going to be exclusive Patreon bonus content to our Storybook Daily Mirror Patreon. So those are the additional details that we have on the Lost Patreon. We're very, very close to getting that there. So tell your friends, keep texting down the hatch to the number, and we're going to text everybody who texted to us and let them know that it's there if they're interested in it, and get those links out there so that we can have a party, because I think that'd be really
Yay!
fun. Storybook Daily Mirror. Ooh. So now let's talk about the show. We're reviewing episode 19 of Once Upon a Time, which is called The Return. This is the beginning of
We're getting to it.
Beginning of the end, basically the beginning of the end of the second of the first season. This particular episode character backstory is Rumpelstiltskin, but we're gonna get a lot of Stranger stuff. Not his backstory, but the Storybook stuff. That timeline we're gonna really start, because the next episode after this one is called, I believe it's
The
called
Stranger,
The
right?
Stranger, yeah. Which is when we really get into August's stuff. We're going to find out where he came from and all that good stuff. And this episode, we're going to start leading into that mystery. So that's really exciting because we've been waiting all season to kind of figure out what his deal is. It aired on April 22nd, 2012, written by a homegirl, Jane Espenson. We love a good Jane Espenson on this show. Is directed by Paul Edwards. And we're starting to ramp up the ratings now, right? So last week was 8.63, something like that. Now we got 9.08 million in the fake numbers that they made up about who watched this show. So, take that with a grain of salt. I don't think anybody new of note here in terms of the cast, but we do have Anastasia Griffith is back because we saw Catherine was found behind the diner at the very last couple minutes of last week's episode. We have, Ruby's back, Sydney's back, Dr. Whale is back. We haven't seen him in a little while. So we're going to get David Anders come back and play him. Oh,
We love Dr. Whale.
Dr. Whale gets a bad rap because, he's kind of scummy in the beginning. We have young Dylan Schmid, who we did not talk about the first time. He plays young Balefire. He's another, young Canadian actor who is now looks like 22. So he's right around that age, the same age group that all of those kids were, the Hansel and Gretel, and what's her name plays young Snow. It looks like he, a couple random things, a couple like R.L. Stein things. And he eventually, after Once Upon a Time, was in Olympus and X Company and a couple of like random TV things. Nothing of super note, but it looks like he's still working. So it's got a little bit of a budding career. Looks like he stopped a little bit in 2016, but he's still young. So he's got time. What else do we have? We got bunch of random co-starring people who play, random dwarfs and whatever in here, but none of them are any
of note.
Nothing you would know. The synopsis of this episode is Mr. Gold attempts to uncover the true identity of August. So that's kind of what I was saying. Right? So
he's nosy.
Gold's gonna come after him. Emma confronts Regina about her involvement with Catherine's disappearance, since obviously now Catherine's back. And David tries to apologize and reconcile with Mary Margaret. So now we're on the other side of the David and Catherine triangle thing. You okay?
Yeah. I'm a little nervous to watch this just because I know I'm gonna jerk reaction to him being like, I'm sorry, but it's like, you accused her of murder.
Yeah, I mean, David's coming off of a mess. He infidelity in the love triangle and his weird,
not only are you a cheater, now you're accusing your mistress of murder. Let's get it together, Charming.
He gave her a bad name, and she's the one getting tramp written on her car because he made this whole thing public and he lied to everybody.
Because we blame women and not men, and it's just
it's a whole thing. But if we allow ourselves to get into the soap opera-ness of all of this, right? We are on the other side of the marriage, potentially. Because I think before she disappeared, I think they had already agreed to split up and whatever. So
we're on the other side of murder now.
And we're on the other side of potential alleged murder. So we really are kind of on the reconciliation road. We're just on the very, very beginning of it. So as soap opera goes and as ramping up to the end of the season goes, right? Which is the big question of the entire season is Emma going to break the curse, right? It's going to be yes or no. So there's no surprise there. It's really about how does David and Mary Margaret patch this up? Because it could be really cheap and easy because it's fast, or they could actually make it so that's kind of what I'm going to be looking out for. Meanwhile, in the fairy tale land Rumpelstiltskin agrees to comply and do whatever it takes if his son can find a way for him to safely give up his powers and turn back into the loving man he used to be. So we're picking up with, I think it's The Price of Gold. No, not that one. It's whatever one with where he becomes the Dark One. And he... the son is now questioning whether it was worth it to have these crazy, dark, very dangerous powers when he was a coward. Now he can get what he wants. And, Rumple very obviously was supposedly trying to do this for him so that he can protect the son. But obviously the Dark One's power, you see where the Dark One's powers end up getting him to this crazy place. So this is going to be a lot of, and this is going to come into heavy play in season 2 when we continue on with this story, but this is really about Rumpelstiltskin and his son in the fairy tale land.
Yep.
Really about that relationship. So we really got to pay attention to what their relationship is like, where the cracks and fractures are, because obviously we left it a little bit weird last time. We find out a little bit more about the mom and all this other stuff. So that's kind of where we're going with this. Before I move on, a lot of this conversation that we're having, that we're kind of theorizing about stuff and whatever, before I forgot to mention it in the Storybook Daily Mirror because I didn't put it in my notes. We have a Discord. We've kind of referenced it a few times. The Discord link is in the show notes. And we really encourage a lot of people who are listening to the show to continue that conversation in Discord, because now that I have created a spoiler channel, there is a lot of conversation.
It pops
daily.
Off.
Daily.
I will go to work and I'll come back and I'm like, all right, let me click on it. And it's like 27 new messages since
like pages.
3:00. I'm like, okay.
And like, no shame. Like this is why we made it. We love that people are talking about it. Love it.
We're in it every day.
We really are.
And not only are we in it every day, but you guys are in it every day. And it is so cool to watch and participate in these like rookie friendships forming, because it's like we talk every day now. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's like we have a group of friends that just like are constantly chatting. And it's gotten to the point that I'm really proud of, where there are entire conversations happening without Isla and myself. Just between people who are sharing their opinions and favorite characters, and it's very, very, very engaged.
Respectfully disagreeing, which we love the discourse.
Love that. I honestly really love the fact that everybody's not on the same page. Like everybody does not feel the exact same way.
It's so much cooler because we learned so many new things.
Yeah. And like getting other people's perspectives on it, 10 times out of 10, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like from that perspective. For
example, let's just talk about one example where yesterday and it trickled into today, and I believe the day before, where one of our rookies mentioned, why are we always calling it, I think it was Lisa, why are we always referencing the Enchanted Forest like it was the medieval times? And like we are so guilty of this. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's just so ingrained in our brain. If you're going to a ball and you're wearing a fancy dress and there's knights
and there's castles
the
and
Renaissance.
Kings and queens.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not. It's modern day.
Yeah.
And everyone
really
kind of just talked about it for a while, and they're still talking about it. How, we reference this and this and this. It's just so cool. And that's a very blanket overview and a small example of what we get into. So we just really encourage everyone who listens to the show and they like it to go join our Discord.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Speaking of that, one of the reasons why that conversation started to really pop off was because we gave them a space to speak freely without spoilers. And we realized that the conversation was a lot richer because of it. So we're at a place now where we're coming up on the end of season 1, and we're going to continue to keep it spoiler free to the end of season 1, because season 1, this is a big deal, right? This is the first time we're kind of getting through it. And at this point, the people that we know of who are watching Once Upon a Time for the first time are already past
ahead of
us.
us.
They're already on
guess
season
what?
2. So we kind of came to the decision
we're done.
That we're just going to blow the spoiler
quitting.
Stuff away.
Actually, the show's done.
We're quitting the show. It was nice knowing all of you. So I think we're going to do spoilers from season 2 on, and we're going to try our best not to do like really, really heavy plot points.
We're not going to ruin the end of the show for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because even in the spoiler ones, like people are talking about the end of character arcs, like where they completely end up, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go that far, but just talking about like what's coming up in the next few episodes or even the next season or two.
It's easy to theorize if we at least allow some spoilers to trickle in.
Yeah, because a lot of this stuff is we're gonna get involved in family trees and who's related to who and who's coming down the line.
We need a whole episode. We need a family tree episode.
Oh, we're definitely going to do that as a bonus episode for sure. And now that we are going to have a Patreon soon, that's a good place for that kind of bonus content if people are interested in that kind of thing. So we have some room for things. The Discord is really where it all started, and because of that spoiler thing, that's that's the thing. Stuff that happened in the Discord is now changing and affecting how we run the show. So that's kind of a really
and this
cool
all
place
started.
to be.
We started talking about this right now because Mackie was mentioning Rumple and Bay and how season 2 a lot's gonna come out, and we want to be able to like really dive into the Rumple and Bay relationship because it is like integral to the show.
Yeah. And so much so that it's part of the character arcs that end in season 1. We find out a lot about why people are doing XYZ and what their plans were all along and all that kind of stuff. And so it's hard not to talk about it when episodes come up that, with that foresight going forward. So I think it would just make a better show overall if we did that. So we really, 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 really need to know from you. You have our text, you have our voicemail, you have our email, our Instagram. If you do not want us to have spoilers because you are actually watching the show with us one episode at a time, let us know that we're casting a net out. We just want to make sure that maybe there's like 60 people out there and they're all watching. You're like, oh my God, no. Like if that happens, we'll reevaluate. But right now, because we still, this show is for you guys. You know what I mean? Like we do love
We're taking your silence as acceptance because we did put this out there last week. We asked and we said, if you are in disagreement, you need to let us know. And we have not heard anything. And
not a single person, actually.
We've heard other people say like, yeah, we want to go spoiler heavy, so
spoiler filled.
If you don't speak up, we're taking that silence as an okay to do so. So
yep. So here we are. That's
how I talked to Harper.
That was your last warning.
Yeah. So I talked to my kid. I'm like, listen, if you don't say otherwise, this is how we're doing it. So
we're gonna go on. But
I'm gonna get all mom voice on you. And if somebody chimes in 2 weeks later because we said a spoiler, I'm gonna be like, listen, we told you. Reference this. I have the receipts. Thank you.
I have the receipts. That was not the right ooh, by the way. That was supposed to be like a intimidated ooh from your mom.
Yeah, that was like a sassy ooh.
I don't even know why we have that one because I don't think we've ever used it. It's not appropriate for anything.
No.
So far. Yeah, I guess we don't really have one. So that's okay. It's fine. I'll play that one because that's our favorite one. So now we're going to talk about production notes. This is when we talk about behind the scenes stuff and things that happen on set and hidden details and so on and so forth. So this particular episode, since it has to do with the beginning of the mystery of the stranger, the title card apparently is August driving around his motorcycle. So we'll see that as the first thing. There's a couple of hidden details. The Blue Fairy's real name apparently is either revealed or shown or something. It is 2 words that are not English. They are Scottish. Rule Gorm. Reulghorm. Apparently
it would also go by Blue Fairy.
It is it is Scottish Gaelic for blue star. So there you go. For the scene where the Blue Fairy meets up with Bay, Keegan Conner Tracy, who plays the Blue Fairy, was crouching in the bushes and saying her lines off screen. So we know the Blue Fairy is a little CG, kind of floating around fairy. So apparently Keegan was just hanging out, saying her lines in bushes, which is super cute.
I feel like they have so much fun on this set.
They really do. They help each other out. There's a lot of off-camera, work to kind of do stuff as kids and stuff too. Got a couple Disney references here. So we got a Mickey Mouse telephone sitting in a case in Mr. Gold's pawn shop, which we've seen a couple times. It's in the bottom, I think, case of his main kind of area where he talks to people. When the Blue Fairy arrives, she takes the form of a blue light. That's a reference to Disney's Pinocchio film from the
Blue Fairy?
I want to say 40s, maybe 50s. When the magic bean that the Blue Fairy gives Balefire is a reference to Jack and the Beanstalk. There's a little bit of folklore, right, that they kind of weave into it. Mm-hmm. There's a wooden donkey also that Mr. Gold finds in August's room. That's a reference to the Pinocchio tale where even in the novels, even in the story, Pinocchio witnessed children being turned into donkeys in the land of toys. It's also dramatized in the cartoon. We have also in Mr. Gold's office, it seems as though Mr. Gold has collected Jefferson's hat box. He has it on a shelf. The last we've seen of the hat, the actual hat itself fell out of the window and Jefferson disappeared. We presume he fell into the hat portal. Well, the hat box is now in Mr. Gold's office, so that's kind of interesting. Which I believe when they say his office and not the pawn shop, they're referring to that room in the back. I think that's his office, so we'll look out for that. There's a vintage shoe shine box, 5 cents from the 1970s, apparently in that back room as well. I don't know why they thought that particular hidden detail was important. There's like a million things in there, but that vintage shoe box though. Okay, fine. Something's changed. This was interesting. In The Thing You Love Most, the window outside of the entrance of Mary Margaret's loft apartment, it's a regular, clear, single pane window. In The Price of Gold, they added 4 window panes. In this episode, the whole window is replaced by a stained glass window. And then in season 2, there's in the season 2 premiere in episode 1 called Broken, it is replaced by a different stained glass window. I didn't even notice that this window was changing for whatever reason. In fact, not just that, the stained glass window in the episode appears in a corridor at the inn of The Thing You Love Most, in Stable Boy, and in this episode. So they just took it from there and stuck it on the apartment.
Interesting.
Yeah, really crazy. I mean, it's actually quite interesting how much they can get away with stuff like that, with props and with set decorations.
Yeah, they reuse
like
a lot on this set, really especially like the well.
The wishing well, geez. I mean, for like every time there's a well, and it's so crazy how you don't even pick up on.
Because it's different. It's not like, oh, there's the well again.
Yeah, that's why they get paid the big bucks. I mean, they're really, really good at taking physically something that is the same and dressing it and putting it in different context and paint and all these kind of things to make it, different. Let's see. Oh my God. Hold, please. We have one brand info. August Room at the inn has Bird Heart of Province PV10503 wallpaper from a company called WallQuest. If you'd like to get a quote from WallQuest to wallpaper your own house with Bird of Heart Province wallpaper, you can Google it because I don't know how to contact them. You're welcome. It's a random brand info. We should do the entire...
Can we just do one episode where we talk like that?
Sure, just like this.
Like a QVC commercial.
I love it. We should do the whole of production notes with the elevator music.
Production notes.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about the episode. What is this? I don't even know.
You'll see it has a very rich history of the vintage age. This is The Return. That is the name of this episode. The Return. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pause and read. We have a pause and read. Hold on, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Sorry, my microphone it's in like a weird place. Okay, we're good now. One of the papers in August's room contains a text written in first-person perspective by a person working in the film industry in Vancouver. I really like that someone paused and read this, and it was like this weird Inception thing of like it's written by a person working in the film industry in Vancouver, which is the town where Once Upon a Time is taped. So it was like somebody was like writing an autobiography on set and then pretended it was August. I don't know what it was, but apparently somebody when they read it, when it was paused, it was in first person perspective too, which I think discovered that August does too a little bit, like writes. I don't know if it's writing in first person specifically, but I kind of vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Another thing that's changed in The Thing You Love Most, there was a ship painting sitting on the floor in Archie's office. In this episode, it's actually hanging on the wall outside the entrance to his office. I do like that little bit of like evolution and progression that like a real person would be changing stuff about their room. So every time you go in, it's a little different, Like to me, that's not like a fluke. Like that's not like, oh, darn, they messed that up. It's just like us. We rearrange things all the time. Look at you. You've been rearranging your office since you moved in. Like that's true. It's just the progression of life. Have we been on this yet?
Yes.
Were we on this for last episode? Okay. My I forgot to introduce the new background. It's going to be some artwork right here. Oh my God. If I could find a Once Upon a Time specific, we need to go to Etsy and see if we can find like a really cool Once Upon a Time piece of art and put it right there.
I'm sure
that would be so dope. Okay. Brookie Nation, if we can crowdsource this, wouldn't it be dope if like the Brookies picked the art that shows up on the wall every week?
Yeah, that would be sick.
Okay. So if anybody wants to find me some really cool art, I have a very weird eclectic art taste, so if you guys can stab in the dark at what I like for art, I will put it on that wall.
It's just going to be the meme of Rumple saying all magic
that one meme that we just
That's it. It's going to be the one.
most used meme in all of Once Upon a Time history. We have another reused prop that we've talked about in a previous episode. It was What Happened to Frederick. So in What Happened to Frederick, and in Fruit of the Poisonous Tree, What Happened to Frederick, Jim's license plate was the same as Regina's license plate in Fruit of the Poisonous Tree.
Illegal.
Well, August's motorcycle is reusing that same license plate again, 40F5TH. Regina's and Jim's was now put on this. Says 3 episodes in a row, 3 different cars, 3 different owners, same license.
Come
There you
on.
go. Prop
And there's not
department.
even a lost reference in the license plate, which is just insane.
Yeah. And speaking of which, there's no lost episode reference in the whole
Again?
episode. And that's the spot where it should have been. That's where it should have been.
This is
And I don't
lazy.
think. And what 40F? So 40F 5TH. I can't even figure out what that could be like coded as that they didn't pick up on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I guess it's sort of written the way that film stock is numbered. Like so when they deliver reels like in Hollywood, right? The film will have a number and that's what they use to catalog it. So it'll be like 0F6942 or whatever, and that'll be like Hunger Games or you know what I mean? So that's could be some kind of stock number of a reel somewhere, but that nobody knew the reference to, like they may have put there, but no idea. The wiki does not know. Well, because there's no What's in the Hatch reference and our production notes were not like crazy super heavy, that is pretty much the end of our production notes. I'm just looking really quick through some more of this. Wait a minute. Wait. The return? Oh my God. Breaking news, guys. Breaking news. I missed a couple things. I just went back to go look. Breaking news. At the welcome
Oh my
home party,
gosh.
Mary Margaret is wearing an Anthropology Eunice cashmere cardigan over an Anthropology dropped dots dress. Both are no longer available. Sad. Mary
I just
Margaret
need to
really
say,
loves
Mary Margaret
Anthropology.
is always wearing anthro, and
Always.
she's a teacher. How is she affording this?
True, but like a fashion diva because she always looks dope as heck.
She does look great, but Mary Margaret to me seems like a thrifter.
That's true. Well, they dress her.
I
in
see
anthro.
her hitting up savers.
I just really like this.
And
Oh.
I don't know about any savers that carry a lot of anthro.
Anthropology. Apparently, Mary Margaret wears the same cardigan in The Stranger, which is the next episode. She puts it on again in the
See,
season
this
2
is more like
premiere,
her. She's an outfit repeater.
right before she and Emma are transported to the Enchanted Forest in something.
I just want to say I
continues
love
to-
thrifting. That was not a dig at thrifting. She seems like more like somebody that would be like,
No, yeah.
this sweater needs more life.
100%. She definitely falls into that category, I think. Sorry, I just really like that music. Yeah, random brand info that I just happened to miss there.
And it's an anthro.
An anthro one, yeah. If anyone's interested, the Fair Acres Mansion is this historic building in Barnaby, apparently. Oh, Burnaby, the Burnaby Art Gallery. That's what doubles as the Sisters of St. Mesa, the convent for
Okay.
the nuns. And also
nunnery.
doubles again as like some other monastery. And like this particular place, like it doubles as in the show Psych, Stargate, SG1. There's a whole bunch of other shows that also use it. Just reading through the wiki. That's all. So we are here. They actually list that license plate thing as a goof. Like it's not even.
Well, I think it's a
like-
goof
I mean, if you catch it, for sure. You know what I mean?
because you can't have the same license plate.
So I always wonder that, like, if you retire your license, if you like give your license plate back, can they give it to someone else, and it's just in this system as this belongs to this new person now, or no?
I don't think so because now you don't really give back your plates.
I've never given one back, but I
You
always
just
thought,
kind of like dispose of it. But
I always thought I was
think,
being a renegade and keeping it.
but see, no, I don't think so because of statute of limitation in a lot of states where you can
Hmm.
report an accident so many years after it happened.
True.
So if you sold your
true.
car and then if you reprinted it to someone else, you could be like, oh my God, look at Kevin rear-ended me. And Pam's like, no, I did not.
But also,
As
Pam
somebody that works in the
lies
insurance
sometimes,
industry, that seems extremely problematic. So I don't think so. If anything, I'm sure if you give them back, they melt it down and reprint new ones with new numbers.
so. Right. Totally in prison while they're doing a musical number, as we've been taught in TV shows and movies.
Yes.
Right. Isn't that how they
Yep.
make license plates?
Yes.
Everyone's doing like jailbird rock or whatever, and
Yep.
high water pants, and they're clanking license plates to it. Did anybody out there seen Crybaby? Have you seen this movie? It's a Johnny Depp movie.
No.
Okay.
Oh my God, I
need to
just
watch-
got a text message from National Grid.
To say your power's gonna go out in a
I've
minute.
literally never See, not yeah. Severe thunderstorm coming.
By the
Stay
way,
connected and prepared. Outage central.
Don't expect your power to stay on.
Yeah. So
We out.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Well, we'll know when she freezes up. That's that's a sign that she's lost power. Okay, you need to watch Saved, as confirmed by my friends in the Discord.
I saw with Mandy.
You also with Mandy Moore and adult Macaulay Culkin, and you need to watch Crybaby. Crybaby. I say that. I always say this because in Crybaby they do a Jailhouse Rock style number in a prison, where the song is called "I Guess I'm Doing Time for Being Young." That's what it's called, and it's literally him clanking newspapers. I mean, license plates, like making license plates, and they're singing and dancing, and they get out of hand, and so the cops like hose them down with like a fire hose to get them under control and all that stuff.
Interesting.
It's basically making fun of Jailhouse Rock. But Crybaby is about a what do they call them? The like rowdy kids in the 50s, right? Who ride motorcycles, and they're called drapes is what they got, like a local gang, you know what I mean? And really all they do is they play rock and roll and like drive crazy, a little crazy, like that's their gangs. And the squares are the nice, proper
the altar
boys
boys
that are just like, they're in like a glee club, and they're being taught how to be proper gentlemen and ladies in these like little clubs and stuff. And it's a Romeo and Juliet thing where one of the squares falls in love with Johnny Depp is the leader of the Drapes, and one of the, she falls in love with him.
Yes.
And it's about them trying to be together. Iggy Pop is in it. There's a few, it's a John Waters film. So it's just like Hairspray. Yeah. I think.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
I might be wrong about that, but it's basically made just like Hairspray. Oh, Ricky Lake is in it when Ricky Lake was like 400 pounds and like way before 90s Ricky Lake, like of the talk show era. And Tracy Lords, famous ex porn star who appeared in many movies, most recently Zack and Miri Make a Porno, she is also in this.
I'll have to check that out.
I'm pretty sure it is John Waters, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember seeing some documentary where he was all excited about working with Tracy Lords, which is super creepy.
Ew.
Yeah. And it's set up like anything like Grease, right? There's like a group of girls and a group of guys, and they're all together in a gang. And then there's like the people, the nerdy kids who are always like picking fights and stuff with them. And, but every time I think of license plates being made in a jail, I always think of Jailhouse Rock from Elvis. And then this remake of that, of Crybaby, Johnny Depp, like, and literally like black spats or black shoes, white socks, high water pants, just like Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
He got his hair done like Elvis, and he's just doing the twist and like clanking license plates away.
That's
like,
hilarious.
It's a good one. Maybe Crybaby will be one of our movie club movies, because it's really actually quite good and fun to make fun of. This is like as campy could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're now in the part of the show where we get to watch the show in a little watch party. We do have we always look out for the inspired line for the episode title. In this case, Balefire to Rumpelstiltskin, he says, "Papa, if I find a way for you to get rid of the power, a way that doesn't kill you or hurt me, would you do it?" I don't see what that has to do with the return, but that is the quoted that is the quoted line. That is the line. That is like the bonus special line. Let's see. We also have a couple notes before we start watching. We have a few sounds that we like to talk about. First of all, we have our very obvious, our drinking bell. So we have a little drinking game that we play. There's some random various rules when we talk about magic, when we see the Emma's yellow bug, when we see references to apples. There's like random things. So if you have a beverage of your choice, water, tea, alcohol, or otherwise, you can take a drink during that. We also have an adjacent drink, right? Which is that little clink sound. That's kind of like a toast. You just like turn to your friends and you like, clink your beers together, because that is when we do a little tribute to our production notes. If we see anything that we were talking about during the pre-show, then we do a little clink. And the last couple things is about our actual playing of the show. We have that sound, and that sound is me playing and pausing the show so that you can, if you are watching along with us, you can sync it as well. So if you hear that sound, that is to play and pause. And if we have to move wherever we're playing, I'll let you know. And then we can sync it at a point together. If we have to rewind.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
My God.
We hired
Will Smith.
Our friend Will.
Will Smith of Fresh Prince fame working for Storybook Circus. Thanks, Will. Sometimes it's rewind time. And then Will Smith tells us that that's what that is. So without further ado, we say goodbye to YouTube. Thank you for joining us in the pre-show. If you would like to listen to the rest of the show, then you can find it at your favorite podcast location right here.